There's somebody worse off than we are.
The Birds continue their skid, dropping to 0-12.
For both the Atlanta Braves and the Baltimore Orioles, the month of April has been all too cruel. In the case of the Orioles, they've fallen on the hardest times of all. Quite a turnabout for a team that had baseball's best record since 1957. But in losing to Milwaukee, Baltimore set a record for the worst start in history, 14 straight losses, breaking the Major League mark of 13 held by Washington in 1904 and in 1920 by Detroit. As for this year's Braves, their 10 straight losses set a National League mark. Ironically, 6 years ago, you'll recall they had baseball's best start ever, 13 straight wins. Now, that achievement is all but a memory. And finally, so is their losing streak.
Popped him up right side. Will it stay in play? Perry fights his way by the umpire. And the Braves win the game. Thank you, Zane Smith. Thank you very much.
And thanks to the rejuvenated Bruce Sutter, the Braves won their next game. On the comeback from arm injuries, Sutter's win against the Astros was his first since 1986. It was no doubt a milestone of sorts for the 35-year-old reliever who refused to give up.
Well, I'm a baseball player. That's what I do best. That's what I've done all my life, and that's what I want to continue to do. And as long as I got a shot at it, I'm going to keep working at it. I mean, if I didn't really think I had a shot at coming back, I wouldn't be down here. I wouldn't be wasting your time or wasting my time or wasting the Braves' time. Well, after the last operation, my arm hurt, for a long time. And, I was really thinking that was going to be it. But then they got me with this clinic, therapy. And once I started doing that and I could start feeling myself getting stronger, then I started getting the strength back in my arm. Then I knew I had a chance.
Sutter could help the Braves climb back up. But right now, let's go to a team already at the top.
We have young players. We have young players with a lot of speed. And we're going to make some young player mistakes, but we're also learning. We're learning to win together, and that's very important. And as long as we stay aggressive, we're going to give some people, not only National League East, but in the whole National League, some problems this year.
With 10 wins in their first 13 games, the Pirates have shown signs of turning things around. One reason? Barry Bonds, who collected 13 consecutive extra base hits. And add to that, a fair measure of clout from two other heavy hitters of late, center fielder Andy Van Slyke and third baseman Bobby Bonilla. Man, that's a versatile trio.
There's a combination there of power and speed, and that's hard to beat. Van Slyke and Bonds are both outstanding runners with power. Bobby Bonilla is showing tremendous power now. There'll be a lot of production in those guys, and the thing I like about all of them, not only are they offensively the big three, they're all quality players in practically every aspect, and they're all complete players, so to speak. So I'm very pleased with them.
Pitchers? Well, Leland's doubly pleased with a pair of starters who once teamed up on the Yankees. Doug Drabek, who's found the change of address most productive, 11 wins last year, and so far this year, 2 straight. Brian Fisher's also been a dandy, winning his first 3 starts. Seems both right-handers found new life for the Pirates.
Since we were traded together, it helped out coming over to a new team. You came over with somebody you knew that you could talk to, and it helped out. We're roommates on the road, and we get along good together. We talk a lot, and it helped.
As for the upstart Pirates, alive and well on top of the East. More exciting news from Cleveland, where the Indians won 12 of their first 15 games to get an early season taste of first place.
And the ball game is over. Cleveland takes over first place in the American League East, winning their 6th in a row.
Got him! Doug Jones slams the door of the Tribe with their 9th victory in 11 games.
Hey, what a turnaround for a pitching staff that last season compiled the worst ERA in the majors.
Right now, our whole camp is on evaluating 46 pitchers that we have in camp. Hopefully, we can come out of here with 10 men on the staff that improves us over last year, because I think it's definitely not a secret in baseball that we have to improve our pitching to improve ourselves and have a chance to climb in the standings. And I'm very optimistic at this point we're going to be able to do that.
Featuring a lot of young arms in the rotation, Cleveland's already shown much improvement. Consider this, in their first 14 games, the 5 starters combined for an 11-1 record.
You know, we always felt that we had 5 solid starters. It was just a matter of going out there and them getting the confidence. I mean, before it was always the pitchers they thought they had to, you know, strike everybody out. But this year it hasn't been like that. I mean, even right there, we've made the plays behind them. You know, the pitchers have gotten the hitter to hit the ball on the ground, and we've been able to catch the ball and throw the ball and turn a double play. So I think that's been the whole key. Now the pitching staff has confidence in the defense, and the defense has confidence in the pitching staff, and that's what it's all about.
When you look at the Indians Baseball Club of last year, the position players were very good then, and they're very good now. I think we've improved the depth of the ball club going into this season. So really, when it comes to putting 9 men out on the field for game after game, I think we can match just about the best in our league. And it really boils down to the pitching. And as we've proven at this early stage of the season, if our pitchers come through, it can be a very tough ball club.
Time now for this week's quiz, brought to you by Chevrolet. Red Sox catcher Rick Cerone is now with his 5th team in the same division. Can you name the only Major League player ever to play in all 4 divisions the same year? You know, fans, it's been more than 2 decades since Boston's Carl Yastrzemski won the coveted Triple Crown. That year, with the pennant-winning Red Sox, Yaz led the league in homers, RBIs, and batting average, an achievement no player has equaled since.
67. Yeah, I carried the team the last month of the season, last 6 weeks of the season, but you have to remember that the opportunity was there every single time that I came to the plate. And then I just made that commitment. No matter what I hit that year, I was going to try for power. Of course, then the 67 season happened.
Yaz had the type of year that every ball player dreams of. The guy hit 44 home runs that year. And I can remember 42 of those home runs meant something. They either won ball games or tied ball games or brought us back into the ball game. He never hit a single home run that year that didn't mean anything. I've never seen any one individual have that type of year that he had in 1967.
Unfortunately, in 68, I won a bad title, and I was booed. I think the people expected me to go out again and win another Triple Crown. That's a tough accomplishment. I won in 67, and no one's come close since then.
No, and in the 25 years prior to Yaz, the Triple Crown was accomplished just 4 times. Frank Robinson did it in 66, Mickey Mantle in 56, twice by Ted Williams, 1942, 1947. That raises the question then, what is it about today's game that makes it so difficult for someone to lead the league in all 3 hitting categories? The majors are certainly full of outstanding hitters, but as many believe, there are just too many factors weighing against a possible Triple Crown winner.
The specializing of the relief pitching takes a lot away from hitters. That's why you don't have as high averages. You'll have one guy maybe hitting like a Gwynn over in the National League or Mattingly in the American League hitting for a high average. The rest of them are down in the 320s, which is very respectable. It makes it a little tougher for that hitter to be able to get the job done on 4 at-bats because he's facing that strong arm late in the game.
The managers seem to go to the bullpen a lot quicker than they used to. We don't seem to have those players, a group of players like Musials and Williams and Mays and Mantle. We don't seem to have as many of those all-around talents that just dominate the game.
I think the game has changed a little bit. The game's faster. I think there's more versatility in the game now. There's a lot of guys that can do a lot of different things.
We got a lot more players in baseball playing regularly in the outfield that are called speed players. 25 years ago, the right fielders and left fielders were big, strong guys that could bang the ball. And I just think the whole idea of baseball is changing. With AstroTurf and the larger fields, we're getting a different type athlete.
There are too many other guys that are hitting the ball out of the ballpark, too, where there might be 2 or 3 home run hitters that would be vying for the home run title. Now you've got guys weighing 150 pounds that are going to hit 20, 25 home runs.
You know, you have so many guys that do things so well. The Triple Crown is hard
hard to come by. I don't see anybody doing it for a long time. There'll probably be somebody 10 or 15 years down the line or somewhere in the near future that can come out and do that, but as of right now, I don't see anybody that can do it.
Well, if anyone can do it, many think Eric Davis can. His power and production prowess make him a strong candidate. But remember, to win the Triple Crown, a hitter must also lead the league in batting, and therein lies the problem, namely Tony Gwynn. A perennial 300 hitter, Gwynn has won 2 batting crowns. Last year alone, he hit .370, a figure Eric Davis or any other National Leaguer is unlikely to match. A similar problem exists for American League hitters, where Wade Boggs has won the batting title 4 out of the last 5 years. Still, Don Mattingly is regarded as a viable contender, certainly, for the Triple Crown. One player who just may be able to out-hit Boggs.
The guys that are around the batting title pretty much are the same guys, every year. But I feel the only guy that really has a shot at that will probably be Don Mattingly, because he hits for a high average, he hits a lot of home runs, and he drives a lot of runs in it.
I can see Mattingly leading the league in home runs and RBIs, but I don't see him leading the league in hit because of one guy, and that's Wade Boggs. No one's going to out-hit Wade Boggs. In our league, I don't see anybody winning the Triple Crown. The closest guy to it would be, if Boggs wasn't in the league, Mattingly would be my pick.
Of course, there's no telling if any of today's hitters can be so dominating as to win a Triple Crown. So for now, it's 21 years and counting. Time now to open the notebook for This Week in Baseball's Twib Notes from around the majors. Oakland's Dennis Eckersley has picked up where he left off last year when he turned reliever and saved 16 games. This season, he's busier than ever, saving 6 of the A's first 8 wins, including all 4 of Dave Stewart's victories. The Expos' new pinch hitter, Greg Nettles, promptly foiled the Philadelphia plans when he smacked a game-tying homer in his first Montreal at-bat. And with that home run, career number 390, Nettles passed Al Kaline and Johnny Bench on the all-time list. Now this, the Reds' Nick Gosowski at bat. The Giants' Mike Lacoste on the mound, bases full. Eric Davis, the tail runner. The count 3-2, 2 outs.
And he does back up the middle, base hit. The runners were going to, will score easily. Eric Davis rounding third and heading for home, and the throw is not in time. A base hit, just a single, scores 3.
Man, that kind of hustle makes Pete Rose mighty proud. Time now for the answer to this week's quiz, brought to you by Chevrolet. In 1977, Dave Kingman played with the Mets, Padres, Yankees, and Angels, putting him in all 4 divisions the same year. How about that? Fast and loose these days, and off to a perfect 4-0 start. At the ripe young age of 23, Doc is already a 5-year veteran, and in the midst of a career that has put him in the spotlight since coming up in 1984. Then, at 19, he was about to catch fire.
Dwight Gooden, the 9th teenager to play for the New York Mets. Dwight is the youngest player in the National League, 19 years of age. Dwight's parents watching, intently watching. Fastball struck him out, so Dwight Gooden gets his first major league strikeout. He had 300 of them last year at Lynchburg.
84, I came in, I wasn't even expected to make the ball club. It was only had a year and like 2 months in the minor leagues, and the general manager, Frank Cashin, thought I wasn't ready. He wanted me to get some more experience in AAA, but Davey Johnson and Mel Stoudemire was in my corner, and they kept pushing him for me to make the team. When I made the team, I just figured if I had a 500 season, which I'd be accepted, and I'll take that. And so I just, put in pressure myself, just went out and pitched, but things came a lot easier.
That year, Doc won 17 games, led the majors in strikeouts, and was Rookie of the Year. That seems hard to believe. He was even better the next, winning the Cy Young Award with 24 wins and the best ERA in 17 years. And he wasn't yet 21.
The season I had in 85 could be a career year. After that year, everything was almost like a downfall, and everybody expect, to have that same year or put up better numbers, and it's not that easy.
Another standout season followed, but then early last year, things fell apart. Gooden entered a drug rehabilitation clinic, and suddenly his storied career was in crisis. After more more than a month on the mend, Gooden returned to Shea Stadium before a welcome crowd of over 51,000. And that night, Gooden beat the Pirates. Man, looking good, too. But it was a whole new experience for the man whom everyone expected would be king once again.
Come back that day probably was one of the biggest days of my life right there, pitching, because, everybody's focused on you to see exactly what you're just going to do. Probably one play the most part, I'd have to say the pitching coach, Mel Stoudemire. He was there for me. Even when I got out, he met me at Doctor's house, and we talked and everything, had lunch, and he was always there. Even, on the road sometimes before we went to the ballpark, if I needed someone to talk to, he'll be the guy.
Although Gooden won 15 games in last year's short season, and though he continues to be one of the game's dominating pitchers, there are those who expect him to deliver nothing but strikeouts.
Fans, a lot of them come to the game to see strikeouts, but the bottom line is getting a W and winning ball games, and it's good if you got a lot of strikeouts, but the main thing, to finish the game and keep the ball club in the ball game and just winning the games. Like last year in '86 also, I pitched a complete game, maybe give up 1 or 2 runs, and might have 3 or 4 strikeouts. And I was always in the headlines, couldn't get the wins, but only 3 strikeouts, what's wrong? And even the fans, they want to know what's going on, which is nothing really, just putting added pressure on yourself. You get a win, or if you go out and pitch a game, but you might have 11 strikeouts in 7 innings, but you get a loss, giving up 4 runs. And they figure that's a great game, which I don't think they really understand the game.
Maybe not, but what Mets fans do understand is that Dwight Gooden belongs to New York. Though he came here with a burden of turning superstar at once, Doc has since overcome the pressures, and now New York is his kind of town.
I think this is the only place I want to play. I like playing here, and it's been some bad days here where you don't want to come to the ballpark, but also it's been some good days, and this is my home now, and I enjoy it, and hopefully I can finish out my career.
Time now to spin our next feature. First, check the equipment. Okay, roll the camera and let her rip. Presenting plays of beauty and perfection, starting with Sid Bream, Pirates. New York Yankee, Mike Pagliarulo. Tony Gwynn, San Diego. Padre teammate, Sean Abner. Seattle Mariner, Harold Reynolds. St. Louis Cardinal, Ozzie Smith. Albert Hall to Atlanta teammate Bruce Benedict. Chris James, Philly. A barehanded Steve Buechele, Texas. New York Yankee, Roberto Kelly. Atlanta's Gerald Perry. Back to the Yankees, Willie Randolph. New York Met, Bob Ojeda. Seattle rookie, Brick Smith. Pete Incaviglia, the Texas teammate Gino Petralli, over and out. Time now for our play of the week, brought to you by Old Spice. This bizarre play began with Mike Schmidt on first base. Next came a wild pitch from the Mets' David Cone. Once at second, Schmidt kept on going. So did the ball. Only the ball stayed in play, and no one covered the plate, and Schmidt scored all the way from first. Believe that? Well, take a second look. How about that? A look at Cincinnati's Barry Larkin and Boston's Ellis Burks, a pair of lashing leadoff hitters. That's all for now, folks. See you next week on This Week in Baseball.
News 4 presents news when you're ready to watch. 3 complete half-hour newscasts starting Monday at 5, 5:30, and 6, right here on Channel 4.